Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
I am fine. It's truly great to see you, and I
Thank you.
genuinely appreciate you taking the time for this
Of course.
interview. Your
Anytime.
your journey is inspiring, and it's an honor to introduce you to our audience today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today, I'm proud to present a rising star of American boxing, a young, explosive, undefeated fighter with power, discipline, and charisma,
Mhm.
Amir Cashman Anderson.
Yes.
Uh, at just 22 years old, standing 6 feet tall, representing Syracuse, New York, with a perfect professional record of 6-0 and 6 knockouts, he is making serious noise in the boxing world. Signed to Misfits Boxing, a 10-time national champion and international champion. He combines amateur pedigree with devastating professional finishing ability. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the future. This is a power. This is a discipline. This Amir Cashman Anderson.
Yes.
And before we talk about your titles and knockouts, I want to back to where everything started. Every
Mhm.
champion has a beginning, and yours is important.
Right.
What first inspired you to step into a boxing gym as a kid?
When I was a kid, my mom threw me into boxing because I used to get bullied as a kid. I used to be soft. I used to not stand up for myself or my sister, and my mom wanted me to toughen up, and she wanted me to learn how to defend myself. And I remember stepping in the gym, and it was just a scary place. My coach was very scary. He was just big guy with a beard that that didn't really seem pleasant, but over time I just started loving it, and then now I started getting good at it, and then I never looked back ever since.
Syracuse shaped you as a man and as a fighter. Your
Mhm.
environment always leaves a mark.
Mhm.
How did growing up in Syracuse influence your mentality?
Um, Syracuse is a small city where it's a small city, but it's a lot of talent that could present itself, and I believe that it molded me as a man because first the community, what I mean, I come from the West Side, and it's not really the prettiest of the cities in America, but I represent where I come from because at the end of the day, like that's who made me. Me walking back and forth from the gym and me becoming the man I am is because of Syracuse and seeing how humble Syracuse is coming from humble beginnings. So yeah, I really do have the pride of Cuse. It's the 315, and I represent it well.
10 national titles don't happen by accident. That takes sacrifice and discipline from a young age.
Mhm.
When did you realize you were different from other young fighters?
Um, I remember when I had my first fight when I was 11, and I was doing it for fun. I always been competitive in sports, but I wasn't really looking at it as a in the long run as my career. I turned 15 and I finally became a national champion. That's when I won my first national title, and it was talks of me being on the USA team. So I was like, you know what? I think I could do that. I think I could make the USA team. And then boom, I made the USA team. And then I got to represent my country for when I was a 15, 16-year old. And they was talking about the Olympics and I wanted to go to the Olympics. Um that time was like I was like, okay, I think I could take this as a career, and I think I could go pretty far with it. And I just been my competitive nature made me, who I am now as a 10-time national champion. I beat a lot of people, a lot of top guys that in that amateur pedigree was it's a dream come true because it's the people that I competed with was not the it's not the easy route. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's a lot of discipline. It was a lot of sacrifice that I had to do, but I got it done, and I'm here now.
Before the bright lights and professional knockouts, there was a long amateur grind. That's where real fighters are built.
Mhm.
How old were you when you had your very first amateur fight?
I was 11 years old. It was a fight in my local gym, and I fought a kid that's been to nationals. He had over 30 fights, and I brought it to him. I remember I watched the video. Maybe I'll post a video one day, but uh, I just brought it to him, and I was just bringing it to him, and I didn't have no skill back then. And then, but I ended up losing. I lost my first fight, and then that fueled me to want to win more. So every time I tell one of the kids at my gym that I lost my first fight, they get like, what if I lose my first fight? I was like, yeah, but I lost, but look at me now. You know what I mean? So I use that as inspiration for the youth now.
You are a great young man. I respect you very much.
Thank you so much.
Every amateur fighters remembers that first walk to the ring. The
Hmm.
nerves, the adrenaline, the unknown. What do you remember most about your debut?
Uh, it was it was electric. Being in Miami, it was a lot of people, and it was a big card that a lot of people was looking at. And I remember my favorite song just coming on. I remember it's go time. You know what I mean? This is the 1997 Mayweather. This is the Bud Crawford. This is when he had his moment. And it gotta be spectacular. If it's not spectacular, then it's gonna be underwhelming. So I was like, you know what? I gotta go in there and I gotta showcase who I am. You know what I mean? The amateurs is different. Amateurs, um, you have to represent your country well. You know what I mean? You can't be you're not representing yourself. You represent the whole country. Now I finally had it was like a release. Like I finally became myself, the Cashman. So it was definitely electric. It was definitely it was a lot of pride in it because now I could wear my own colors. Now I could in my the way I dress, the way I look, the way I talk is different from when I was an amateur. So um but going in the ring and fight, it was a tough fight. The guy hit hard, real hard, but I got him out of there. It's too easy for me, and it was so fun just going in there in front of my fans in Miami. So I'm pretty excited to go back there.
10 national titles is not normal.
Mhm.
That's dominance.
Mhm.
Which national titles meant the most to you emotionally?
Emotionally, I think when I won the Olympic trials, there was a lot of controversy that came with it, and the quarterfinals of the tournament. I got dropped. I got dropped in the first round, being careless, just being too cocky. Got dropped in the right hand. I got right back up, and I finished the fight, and I hunger for that moment. I hunger for that feeling that I had because that was the first time I ever felt controversy, and the first time I ever felt like, okay, it's go time. Is you know the world's against you now. It's time to show the world that they're wrong. You know what I mean? One person versus a billion, and and when I won, I felt like a lion. I felt, and this is and the Olympic trials. in America. It's one of the kids' dream to win that. And I remember when I was 12, 13, and I seen Keyshawn Davis win it. Um, and I was just like I need to win that. I need to win that title, and I end up doing it. It was just another feeling. So I think that's the most emotional one. And that was my 10th one. So it was very sentimental.
Amateur boxing is about speed and scoring. It's
Yeah.
very technical. What was your biggest strength in the amateurs?
Um, my I feel like I worked on my footwork a lot. That's why I feel like I'm dominant in the pros. I have really good footwork for an American as well. A lot of Americans don't really have really good footwork. Um, and like you said, speed and scoring was my my cliche. I used to, throw a lot of punches, and they used to be powerful punches. So I think those were the main thing that made me win a lot of national titles, and my grit. You know what I mean? Like I know how to win. I'll be down the first round, and then the second two rounds, I know how to adjust and come back. So I think I have a mind my own. I don't think that a lot of guys my age can think like that and be able to come back. And that's why I think I work perfect for the pros because it's a span of 8 rounds, 10 rounds. You know what I mean? I want my next fight to be 10 rounds. So the fact that it was 3 rounds now is 10 rounds, I'm able to adjust more. You know what I mean? And not just score. I can kill. You know what I mean? Have a kill mode instead of just trying to score. That's why I think a lot of prospects these days is having a hard time transitioning to that kill switch because at the end of the day in the pros it's kill to be killed. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to get to that title, is you gotta have that kill mode. So that's what I'm learning now, and that's what I'm developing. But I think having that mindset was the difference between me and my peers and amateurs.
You said footwork. In your
Mhm.
opinion, who has the best footwork in the history of boxing?
It's between Muhammad Ali and Lomachenko. Lomachenko was somebody that I watched a lot. Um, he was literally what they called him the Matrix. Him and Usyk, they just had a different level um, of bounciness, just being able to move around the ring for 12 rounds and not be able to get touched. You know what I mean? And hopefully I live up to their expectations because that's who I strive to be like. Um, is to be able to move around your opponent, create openings, and you know, just be able to be executing with the angles, with the drop steps and stuff. And a lot of people don't realize how effective their footwork were. Um, because how they just see them moving around, but how they setting up the shots, how they getting that opponent out. You know what I mean? It's a different level of what they have. That's why I studied them a lot. I studied Lomachenko and Usyk a lot.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Usyk, Loma, Muhammad Ali have
yeah,
legendary footwork.
right. They they have blisters on their feet.
Oof. Multiple fights in a short period of time builds real endurance. How did tournament boxing prepare you for the pro?
um, just being able to compete with the best. A lot of the guys I fought, Keon Davis, he was signed with Top Rank. Joel Arate, he signed with Golden Boy. Taylor Beevan, he signed with Matchroom. Bobby Flood, he signed with Queensberry. These guys are the top guys, you know, in their prospects and their promotion. And I beat them. You know what I mean? I beat them, and it was a pretty clear win. And being able to do that. And be able to compete with the best every single tournament, every single month. You're fighting the best guy at this weight, best guy at this weight, and this was three different weight classes that I fought. It made me ready for the pros. You know what I mean? That because in the amateurs I didn't duck any smoke. I didn't, I never ever shy away a challenge, and now I feel unstoppable. You know what I mean? And it's the same way in the pros. I want to have the same mindset. I want to beat the best. I want to fight the best, because that's where I belong. I don't belong fighting cans and people that don't really matter. I want to fight people that are just going to challenge me and make me my best. So yeah, it's definitely the people who I fight. It's not like necessarily the amount of times I fought. It's the people that I fought that made me who I am in the pros.
But amateurs also test your mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Tournaments are brutal.
Mm-hmm.
What was the toughest tournament you ever competed in?
That's a tough one because I definitely had a lot of them. I think off the top of my head was the 2022 USA Nationals. Um, this was the tournament to qualify for the Olympic trials, um, and I wasn't seeded. So it was everybody else. Everybody was number one, number two, number three. I wasn't seeded, and I had to fight the toughest fights. I had to fight the number two seed, the number three seed, and the number one seed, and I fought, I fought, I think 4 or 5 times, and it was it was gruesome because I was cutting weight and I was fighting back to back to back and didn't get a break, and I was you know fighting them top guys back to forth. It's put a toll on your body, and I remember just coming out with that victory, and it was probably the most stacked bracket in the tournament, and I came out victorious. It was just like a shocker. That's when I knew that I was gonna be a superstar. That I overcame what everybody else thought that wasn't gonna happen. You know what I mean? It it was projected winners for the tournament, and I wasn't one of them, and I became one of the winners. So I think out of all my tournaments, I take more pride in that one.
The United States of America has the
Mm-hmm.
biggest competition in the world. You are
Mm-hmm.
doing an incredibly cool job. In Ukraine, the competition is much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Every Every amateur has that one rival, the fighter who pushes you harder than anyone. Did you have a rival in the amateurs?
Um, I had a couple. I went back and forth with the team member now. His name Raheem Gonzalez. Um, in sparring, we never fought, but we always sparred, and I always got the better of him. And we was pretty big rivals. Me and Keon Davis, Keyshawn's little brother, we was big rivals in the amateurs. Um, Me and Dante Lane, he signed with Overtime Boxing, and he's a good prospect now. We was big rivals. We're 1-1 in the amateurs. So yeah, I have a lot of rivals. Now I'm thinking about it, like growing up, because we all fight each other. Probably 2 3 times in our lifespan. So it's definitely it's definitely something that in the pros that hopefully we can get a fight and that would make a lot of noise.
You listed some cool boxers. Losing
Hmm.
in the amateurs teaches humility. Winning
Hmm.
teaches responsibility. What did your first loss teach you?
My first loss taught me that um that's tough. I hate losing. I think that was one of the big things that I taught um that I hate losing. That I'm very competitive, but my first loss taught me to that and boxing is a gruesome sport, and it doesn't it's not there to please you. Um, I think that in the amateurs, my coach always told me that if the fight's close, you lost. If the fight not close, you won. And that's the biggest thing I lost. It was a close fight, and I was sitting there, I won, but my coach was like, it could go either way. You know what I mean? But expect the loss, because if you have expectations higher than what you perform, you're gonna win a lot. If you have low expectations for the way you perform, you're gonna lose a lot. So if you have a close fight and you can't expect to win, you know what I mean. So that's what one thing I learned, and now I'm teaching my kids.
International competitions change everything. Different
Mhm.
styles, different pressure. How did international boxing shape your style?
It definitely shaped my style a lot. Uh, like I said, watching Lomachenko and watching people in Europe be on their toes back and forth, uh, it changed my perspective on how I can score as a boxer. So um, that's what I did when I knew that I was going to the World Championships. I got on my P's and Q's about being having good footwork, having good head movement, how to score and not get touched. You know what I mean? And it's a lot more speed and a lot more explosiveness than it is in the pros because you're just exploding, coming back. So and my style was more of a pro style, was lead with the jab, bang with the right hand, you know. And now I had to learn how to score without trying to, overthrow so they can catch me or something, you know what I mean. So it's a lot of little things that changed, and I think I did it well, 'cause I got a international gold medal. So um it definitely shaped me in a different boxer as an amateur now that I'm a pro.
Vasily Anatolievich Lomachenko is a
Hmm.
Ukrainian former professional boxer who competed between 2013 and 2024. He has held multiple world championships in three weight classes, including the World Boxing Organization WBO featherweight title from
Hmm.
2014 to 2016, the WBO Super Featherweight title from 2016 to 2018, the Unified World Boxing Association Supervision World Boxing Council WBO and Ring Magazine Lightweight titles from 2018 to 2020, and the International Boxing Federation IBF Lightweight title from 2024 to 2025. In your opinion, who do you think won, Lomachenko or Orlando Salido?
Oh, who was the second one?
Yes, Lomachenko versus Orlando Salido in 2013.
Oh, yep. I thought Lomachenko won. Lomachenko was the more active one. The other guy was he was just dirty, throwing low blows and would just. I remember I was a kid watching it, and I was heartbroken when he lost. Um, yeah, it was a dirty fight. The ref should have took points, and it was probably more than 15 low blows. Um, but I thought Lomachenko definitely won. I think that was more of a character mode to make him who he is now, and maybe it was better this way that he did lose, and now he became now a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? So I think that's a. But I definitely thought Lomachenko won.
Yes, there were 15 punches below the belt. Why,
Yeah,
why was the referee like that?
yeah. Referees, they have their own perspective on things, and they let some stuff go away, and then they let some stuff not go away. And that's a lesson, the boxers is the ref is not on your side. You know what I mean? The ref is there to make his own calls. You know what I mean? So always always respect the ref, but always know that the ref is not on your side. So um yeah, the ref was terrible that fight, and I'm kind of sad that happens.
Yeah. You can have dirty boxers like that in the pro. What
Mhm.
would you do with a dirty boxer like Salido?
I would react out of anger. I probably would have hit him with a low blow too. If the ref's not saying nothing, I would have hit him too. I would have stopped him. I would have, I wouldn't stop. I can't I can't let somebody do that to me and not do something back. You know what I mean? I'm Lomachenko's better than I am. I would have to hit him low blow or hit him behind the head or something just to tell him to stop. You know what I mean? Play by the rules. So that's what I think Lomachenko should have did.
Yes. Being being a national champion brings expectations.
Hmm.
Did pressure ever affect your performance?
Um, no, and I think that's the big part of that is the my competition. I I competed on a high level for a long time. So just being in front of a big crowd or being in front of people that like celebrities and stuff now, it doesn't really change the fact that I'm one of the best prospects, and I believe that solely, and I let my performance speak on it. So I don't let pressure hold me back from being the best me I could possibly be. Because at the end of the day, pressures make diamonds, and I belong at the top.
Amateur scoring rewards clean shots. Did
Hmm.
you always focus on technique over power?
Yeah. I believe that if you're technically sound, you're more you're projected to win more than somebody that have power, especially in the amateurs, because you're not there. You're there to score. You know what I mean? If you're just looking off of sole power, you're not gonna always get it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be them Lomachenkos, them Uziks, the Muhammad Ali's that's gonna move around, not let you touch them once. So be it technical is more sound to be able to catch some guys and to score more than a person with power. So I always make sure I work on my fundamentals than just to work on just straight broad power.
You are an incredibly technical boxer. They will hear about you in Ukrainian too.
Yeah.
Traveling for tournaments builds maturity fast.
Hmm.
What did traveling teach you outside the ring?
Um, Traveling told me outside the ring. It showed me a different perspective on the world. Um, Again, people my age never wasn't traveling. We come from Syracuse. People even my father is 55 and he never been outside of the country. Being a felon and stuff. Uh, it never it gave me a perspective that I'm doing great things, and just being from Syracuse is and I have to keep going. I mean, it showed me to be disciplined and stay humble, because you're going overseas, you're going to this place, and it shows that you know that not everybody no not everybody get this opportunity. Even boxers, they don't, if you, they never got the opportunity to fight overseas, and I was just blessed to do that. So I'm very grateful for the opportunities I got, and thanks to Jesus Christ, I believe that he blessed me with the talents, and he helped me become where I'm at now. So that's the thing I take up from it outside the ring. And inside the ring, I think it shows that it's different skill sets. I mean, every place got their own different, like America got their own thing. Ukraine, Spain, England, it have their own boxing style. So um, it allowed me to learn more. So I was pretty grateful for the opportunity.
Making weight repeatedly requires discipline.
Hmm.
There is a Janibek Alimkhanule in your weight category who has
Hmm.
a very difficult time making weight. He was even hospitalized once because he couldn't make weight. What was weight management difficult in the amateurs?
Yeah, it was time when I was at 156, super welter. I was doing a lot to make weight. it wasn't super difficult to the point where I was getting hospitalized and stuff, but it was definitely difficult to be able to weigh in that morning and then try to perform against the best. That's why I eventually moved up to middleweight and then light heavyweight in the amateurs because I believe I had the power to be able to do that. Um, but yeah, being weight management is it's important to be able to learn how your body reacts to weight management because if you're not doing it right, you're not going to perform right. So I make sure that's my biggest thing now. Um, I think I'm not going to be at 160 for much longer. I'll probably be there for another year or two, maybe even 3 years. Hopefully, I can get a title there and then move up to super middleweight. Um, but again, that's the thing I'm learning now is to how to transition from cutting weight when I was an amateur to now, because this you get a whole day to rehydrate and stuff. So I'm learning the ways to do that.
Yes, I know Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, who has never had a problem with weight lifting,
Mm.
a middleweight legend.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites as well. Triple G is he was feared. He was a scary man.
Yes. Coaches in amateur shape your foundation.
Mhm.
Who had the biggest impact on your amateur development?
My coach, Chris Burns, he was my coach since I was 7. He's like a father figure to me. He always taught me the right way to do stuff. And he's very technical. So if I do something wrong, we redo it. If it's something that I want to learn, he drills it until I get it right. And I think that's the way that I want to teach my kids, and I want to you know show that fundamentals is gonna be anything else, and fundamentals is very important. So yeah, my coach was very strict on fundamentals and very strict on conditioning, and I'm very glad, I'm very blessed to have him in my corner as well.
You are a high-level boxer. Sparring at that level is intense. Who
Hmm.
was the toughest sparring partner
Hmm.
You faced.
Um, in recent years, I sparred with a lot of fighters, Erickson Lubin, Edgar Berlanga, Zerto Ramirez, Bud Crawford. Um, Bud Crawford was a tough sparring session. Erickson Lubin was a tough sparring session as well. He was very technical, and he's a really good body puncher. Um, Edgar Berlanga was very powerful. He was a powerful, very powerful fighter at 168. Um, Zerto was a lot easier to deal with. He's a lot bigger than me, so I was trying to move around a lot more. But as of right now, my toughest sparring session was with probably Darrell Vason. I probably his nickname Blast, and Najee Lopez. They both explosive. Najee Lopez is a light heavyweight. Blast is a super welterweight. Um, Both great fighters. Blast is a switch hitter, and I think I was more competitive with him. We're both young, and we're both like you know we're stable mates. So I think that was it was definitely good sparring sessions with him. Yeah.
I remember Triple G sparring with David Benavides, Sergey Kovalev, big boxers. You spar
Yeah.
with big boxers too.
Yeah.
Zurdo is very big.
Yeah, he was huge. He was probably like 220. I was probably like 175 at the time. I was small compared to him.
Winning repeatedly builds confidence. At
Hmm.
what point did you start believing you could turn pro successfully?
I believe I could turn pro successfully when I was around um probably 16 or 17. I just noticed that I was, I'm beating up grown men that was adults. And I had a style like a pro style, and I was like, you know what, I think I'll be able to, take this to the next step. Um, you know, I was kind of rushing it. I was like, Coach, when we can turn pro? And he was like, no, you're going to Olympics. And we had, I had focused on the Olympics, but I was definitely itching to turn pro because I was looking at everybody that was in my, my age that was turning pro and all that stuff, which is, it's a double-edged sword. Maybe it can help you a lot, but maybe it can't. You can get into a tough fight and then, probably lose. So I'm grateful to have my coach in the corner to be able to tell me when to turn pro and all that stuff, and give me the right decisions and all that. And but yeah, I was 16 or 17 when I thought that I'll be a really good pro.
Amateur fights are short and explosive. Did you
Hmm.
enjoy the fast pace of amateur boxing?
Yeah, I believe I did. Is definitely a different mindset than the pros. And it's a shorter time, so I was, being explosive was fun to just throw a lot of punches and score as much as you can. But I think I like the pros a lot more because again, it's the stalking game. It's a hunter. You're being a hunter. You're stalking your prey, and that's why I believe like what my style is like I start until I see an opening, until I make an opening, and then I go for the kill. And amateur is not really like that. You're scoring, and it's fun. It's fun for the time being, and is I think I got more tired in the amateurs that I do in the pros, and I did, and I fight 8 rounders, so it's kind of crazy to say that, but yeah, I think I like the pro style more.
The headgear era and post-headgear era feel different.
Hmm.
Did fighting without headgear change your mindset?
Yeah. Uh, with the headgear is you don't see your peripheral when you go in there without the headgear. It's is like the lights is brighter. You know what I mean? The stage is bigger, and you're more vulnerable to get hurt. You know what I mean? Especially with the little small gloves. So when I first stepped in there as an amateur without my headgear, it was it was nerve wracking a little bit, and then once I got comfortable with it, I like it better because I'm not getting touched as much. You know what I mean? My head is not getting moved as much, and I'm able to control. I don't think I ever got caught with a solid punch. As I took the headgear off. So I'm 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 pretty confident. I'm more confident without the headgear than I am without it. I'm pretty confident without the headgear than I am with it.
A long amateur career can shape identity.
Mhm.
How would you describe yourself as an amateur fighter?
I believe I am a high pace, uh, very very technical boxer with good footwork. I had a really good jab in amateurs, and I had really good footwork to go with it, and that's what made it difficult for boxers to beat me was because um, you can't land punches when I'm throwing a jab in your face and then I'm stepping back and I'm cracking you with bigger punches. So it made me more technical sound, and I was more tricky to catch. You know what I mean? And I was able to be on my back foot, be on my front foot. Stay in the pocket, stay on the ropes, stay moving around the ring and stuff. So I was very versatile compared to the people that was in my weight class in my division.
You have cool footwork, but you also hit well. I wish
Yeah.
you to knock out everyone out like Golovkin.
Yes, yes. Hopefully I can. Golovkin is a great puncher.
Yes. Amateurs create the blueprint for the pros. What part of your amateur style did you keep in the professional ranks?
Ooh, I think I kept my footwork more importantly. My good jab. I think those are the two things that was more important that I needed to keep. Um, I kept that pace. I didn't keep the high pace, but I kept the footwork and my jab because um, that's going to make it hard for the high level fighters. They're not going to be able to touch me, and especially with my power on my jab is going to make it real hard for them to be able to to commit with a punch. So I was those are two things that I took from amateurs: is the footwork and my jab.
Your amateur background is elite, but
Yeah.
turning pro is a different world.
Yeah.
What was the biggest adjustment when you turned professional?
Um, like I said earlier, it was the hunting to be able to stalk your prey and you're not going in there for points anymore. You're going in there to land big shots. And that was probably the most difficult thing to learn is to slow down my pace instead of picking it up. Because if you have a high pace in pros, you're gonna burn out in the first 3, 4 rounds. Instead of you able to spread that pace throughout 6, 8 rounds, you're gonna be more successful. So being able to hunt that person and to stalk the prey and then kill, have that kill mode was the biggest thing to learn because I think that's what um separates high level boxing to prospects is prospects they know how to go in there and score, 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 but they don't know how to stop. They don't know how to knock people out and stuff. And um, me being able to do that shows that I'm levels beyond what I should be at as for my age.
Six fights, six knockouts. That's not luck, that's power and precision. Do you consciously look for the knockout, or does it just happen naturally?
I think it happens naturally. I think if I go looking for it, then it won't come. I believe if I just stick to my game plan and everything works out, then I'm gonna get the stoppage every time. People that look for knockouts, they typically don't get them, and I think that's a saying in my gym is if you look for the knockout, you're not gonna get it. If you stick to the fundamentals and all that stuff, you're more likely to get it than to look for it. So that's my mindset. I go in there. I try to be the best boxer I could possibly be, and if I do that, then I'm gonna get the stoppage.
Your confidence is visible before you even throw a punch. That aura matters. Where does that self-belief come from?
Um, it's from coming from Syracuse. You know, what I mean, I'm humbled to come from Syracuse, New York, and be great. You know what I mean? I'm making history in my own city. I'm making history in America. You know what I mean? One of the only people that was able to get 10 national titles, a gold medal at my young age. So yeah, the confidence coming in that and the people I beat, and it comes from you guys. You know what I mean? People that you interview me and y'all give me the star power. So I appreciate y'all and I appreciate my fans and that's where my confidence comes from is y'all confidence in me. I display y'all confidence. So
Historically, middleweight is one of the most important of history. I
mm,
know a lot of middleweights. uh, I know a legend in this weight class. Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Triple G, Saul Alvarez, Miguel Cotto, and others. Many, many
mm.
legends. You represent fate openly. That's powerful in today's world. How important in your fights, in your boxing journey?
Say it one more time.
How important is your fights in your boxing journey?
It's very important to have, you know, that drive to be able to, live up to these legends. Like again, you said Cotto, and you know, Cotto's probably one of my favorite fighters. You know, I'm in the weight class that's historically probably one of the best weight class that had the best competition. And I want it to be like the old school days that I want to fight the best. So being in that weight, it's a blessing to be able to be where I'm at, but I want to fight the best. I want to fight the best. I want to be the best. I want to be a contender for a title. And because that's what these guys, what the Haglers, the Thomas Hearns, the Cottos, they fought the best. That's why they Hall of Famers. You know what I mean? That's why I think I could become a Hall of Famer by fighting the best, by fighting these big guys, these contenders, the Zenebeks, the Lauras. I wanna beat these guys, and at a young age because I believe I can. You know what I mean? I'm 22 and I believe that I can beat Lara. I can beat Zenebek. I can beat Carlos Adames. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm pretty far from them. You know what I mean? And I think, and I'll bet on myself on it that these guys can't keep up with me.
I believe you will become world champion and defend your belt many, many times.
Thank you.
You are you are signed to Misfits Boxing. That's
Hmm.
an interesting platform.
Yeah.
What made you choose Misfits as your promotional pass?
So I could have went the traditional route. I was going to sign a deal with Top Rank. Matchroom. Uh we in negotiations and stuff. But when the money, it came down to money and the amount of fights, Misfits, they got it. They gave me a lot more money than an average 20-year-old should have. And I was blessed to have that deal. And they gave me a platform where I'm growing, and I'm still growing, and a lot of people are seeing me. You know what I mean? Getting millions of views, thousands of views, and you know, gaining a lot of followers. You know what I mean? I started with probably 1,000 or 2,000. I'm almost to 10K now, and I'm a fast rising star, and that's thanks to Misfits for giving me the platform to perform in front of a different platform and traditional boxing. So it's kind of a two-way win for us.
At 22, many fighters are still learning basics. You
Hmm.
already look composed. Do
Hmm.
you feel ahead of your generation?
I do. I believe that people my age wouldn't be competing at the level I am. Um, I believe that it's only a handful of people my age that's able to go and win world titles like a Dula Mason and stuff. And I believe I belong in that division. I belong in that conversation to be able to go and in my seventh or eighth fight for a world title because I believe I have the skill set to do that. So yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly.
Power is impressive, but ring
Mhm.
IQ wins championships. How would you describe your boxing IQ?
I'm very technical. I'm very smart. I believe that, and that's thanks to my coach. My coach is a very, very smart coach. He taught me how to, evaluate for myself and to listen. That's the most important things that we work on is to be able to know how to adjust on my own and to be able to listen and tune everybody else out. Um, I'm just, I think my IQ is levels beyond what other 22-year-old prospects are. Um, as a fighter in the ring, you know what I mean? That I have the ring IQ to box these high level, contenders, and it'll show soon.
Every fighter has
Yeah.
a dream opponent. That name motivates training. Is there a fighter you dream of facing one day? Maybe with Johnny Beck, Carlos
Mhm.
Adames, Erislan Lara, Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah, it's these guys, those guys on their way out. I would love to fight Jitterbeck or Adamas or Lara. Um, but I think the biggest fight that I'll have in my career, and I know it's gonna happen, is with me and Xander Zayas. We're both high level. He's a world champion now. I'm a prospect coming up. Um, I think that since I was a kid, I was seeing him in the amateurs. I knew that we was gonna meet up one day, um, as well as Jahai Tucker. Um, I believe that we're gonna make a super fight, and I would love to fight him soon. If not, we're gonna be fighting for a world title. Um, I think the people in my pool are the people that's gonna make the big fights because it's like Canelo Mayweather. It's like when you know, Bud versus Spence is when you in your time versus the people that was in your immature pool. It's a different atmosphere and it's a different level of boxing, and those are two people I always wanted to fight when I was an amateur, and I would love to fight them now, and hopefully that becomes soon.
I interviewed Jahai Tucker the day before yesterday.
Really, wow,
Yes.
that
May-
that's crazy.
Maybe we will see your fight.
Yeah, that hopefully soon. He a great fighter, but I think I'll get him out of there. I think I'll stop him.
Knockouts excite fans, but
Mm.
disciplines builds legacy. What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy means a lot. You know what I mean? Aside from being a world champion, just being an inspiration to the youth is that's a big legacy as well. Because at the end of the day, the youth is the they're the projects. They're the people that's gonna step up next. Because I remember I was a kid and I looked up to these guys, and they never inspired me. You know what I mean? Or they never was close with their fans, and that's my goal is to be able to inspire the young. You know what I mean? So I have a soul desire to be able to preach the gospel and to be able to grow the young community to be the best boxers or wherever they want to be in life to be the best them they could possibly be.
Oof. Training camps reveal character. That's where champions are built. What is the hardest part of your training camp?
It's a lot of things that's tough, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, training is tough. Uh, the biggest thing for me is I love running. I love running a lot. It's running while I'm cutting weight. Um, it's a different, when you're running just to run, it's funner. You know what I mean? You're just running, you're enjoying, the good weather and stuff. But when you're running to cut weight, it's a different, you're thinking about food and you're thinking about everything else except for, cutting the weight. Um, I think yeah, and the conditioning. Conditioning is probably the hardest part of because that's where the wear and tear come. You're wearing yourself down to make yourself stronger. You know what I mean? And that's what like Terrence Crawford was saying. Like he don't get hurts in fights. He get hurt in training camp, and that's because of the wear and tear.
We have a war in Ukraine against Russia. We are grateful to the Americans for the help you are giving us. We are sitting without electricity. The United States is doing a lot for Ukraine. I am very pleased that you are giving me an interview.
Of
And
course.
how do you stay grounded with early success?
Um, but I just stay humble. You know, what I mean, I know that um, I'm gonna be world champion one day, but staying, humble and staying disciplined will take me a long time because if I'm gloating and I'm saying that that I'm not I'm signed and I'm a good prospect and stuff. It's not gonna get me anywhere. But if I believe that if I'm just being humble and just focus on my goal, I'll get there. You know what I mean? And I'll be able to, I'll let my skill sets and my me show in the ring instead of, just expressing I'm a champion. You know what I mean? I'll show myself being a champion in the ring or outside the ring.
We know you represent the United States with pride, and right
Yeah.
now the relationship between the United States and Ukraine is very important for many people watching this interview. Uh, what is your personal view on the United States supporting Ukraine during this difficult time?
Um, I I support USA's helping Ukraine a lot because end of the day, it's war. I don't believe war is necessary. I think war is just a bad thing that happens in the world, and is just a destruction. So be able to help our people in Ukraine, you know, get back stable is important because um that's what God wants. God don't want us to be fighting each other. God want us to be able to love each other like one another. So I believe helping Ukraine is a very good thing that we're doing, and I think we should continue doing it. And that and hopefully, and I pray that the war stops very soon, and justice will be served.
Thank you. Y- You've stopped every opponent so far. That
Mhm.
sends a message. What message are you sending to your division?
I'm the boogeyman. I'm the guy that everybody wants to avoid, and I'm coming. You know what I mean? I'm a young prospect, and I'm young, but I'm pretty experienced. You know what I mean? So they just need a. I want to show them that um, come come fight me. That's the message. I want them to be able to. You know, I want them to fight me. I don't want them to be scared of me. I want them to. I want to fight the best. So I'm ready to fight the best.
I also really liked Daniel Jacobs. How did you
Mhm.
like his fight against Golovkin?
Um, it was he made it a tougher fight than a lot of people would with Triple G. But Triple G is he's just that guy. He's very powerful and he don't let up. And his chin is crazy. Daniel Jacob is an aspiring fighter. Beating cancer and all that stuff. Um, but Triple G always been my favorite. I always knew Triple G was gonna beat him. Um, he's a great boxer, but I think Triple G is the he was the boogeyman at the time. He was the guy that everybody feared.
Oh, Golovkin took that fight cleanly.
Yeah, very clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about your past and your present. Now, I want to look into your future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years in the boxing world?
In 5 years from now, I believe that I'll be world champion. I believe that I'll be in big fights, pay-per-view fights, and I believe that I'll be in sold-out arenas. Um, I believe that I'll be contending for a world title and contending for a pound for pound spot. That's where I think in 5 years I'll be at.
Um, I want you to have two bells and
Yeah.
Tucker to have two bells. And
And
and then we saw your fight
yes, that would be real nice.
for the
Uh,
absolute title.
yeah, for the undisputed. Yep, that would
Yes.
be that would be a blessing.
Champions are remembered not only for titles, but for impact. Legacy is bigger than belts. What do you want people to say about Amir Cashman Anderson when your career is over?
I want people to say that he was an inspirational guy. He was a person that inspired the youth, and he was a great champion. You know what I mean? I want to represent um, Syracuse as much as possible, and I want to show the world that Cashman Anderson he was a flashy but humble guy. He was a talented but humble guy, and he was a guy that was feared in the boxing game, and in the he was one of the perfect boxers, like one of the best boxers ever.
And finally, I want to say it's been an honor speaking with you. The future looks bright for you. When the lights go out and the crowd goes home, who is Amir Anderson outside the ring?
Um, Again, he's a humble guy that just loves boxing. You know what I mean? That loves competing, and he outside the ring that he just he loves other sports, and he just this very happy guy. You know what I mean? I think I'm different from inside the ring and inside the press conference and outside of it. Um, I believe I'm just a normal guy that just love boxing and that's just in the boxing game. And it's been an honor talking to you as well. Thank you for having me. And yeah, this is the stuff that makes boxers. So I appreciate it a lot.
We've talked about your skills, your mindset, and your legacy, but now I want to ask about something that fans love, your nickname. Nicknames
Yeah.
in boxing are never random. They
Hmm.
carry energy, personality, and a statement. What
Hmm.
are you called, Cashman? And what does that name represent about who you are in and out of the ring?
It's a lot of different things that come from Cashman. My coach gave me my nickname Cash because my head was shaped like a cashew. So he used to call me Cashew, and then I shortened it for Cash. And then when Floyd become Money Mayweather, I was like, okay, maybe I could be a, Amir Cash or Amir Cash Man. And that Cash Man went from that to just being a guy with the money. But I I believe I made my perspective as I got the money. I'm the cash man. I got the cash, like the cash out skills. You know what I mean? I have the skills to pay the bills. You know what I mean? So that's my slogan.
I wish you make a lot of money.
I appreciate it.
What do you think about the Floyd Pacquiao 2 fight?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good gimmick fight. It's good to see these guys that's older to be making money and still still punching. It's just I hope they don't get hurt. But I think that it's gonna be a different fight because Floyd's been inactive. He haven't fought real fighters in a long time. And Manny Pacquiao, he's still competing with the best. He fought Mario Barrios to a draw, and that's it's crazy for him to do that at the age he is now. And but I don't know how the fight will go. I think I want Mayweather to win. So I think I'm hoping Mayweather wins, but I don't know. Manny Pacquiao still look young. He looked like he was when he was back in 2007.
It will be interesting.
Yeah, it would definitely will be.
And the last questions. Young fighters are watching you right now. They see your knockouts and your confidence. What advice would you give to kids who dream of becoming champions?
The message I give to kids that's that believe that they become champions are confidence is key. If you have confidence, it'll take you a long way. Because if you believe in your training, you believe in your team, that you will be able to succeed. And if you believe in God, that you will be able to succeed a lot. Listen to your coach. I think that's the biggest thing. Um, and and to be humble. You know what I mean, and know that you're coming from humble beginnings, no matter where you come from, and never ever overlook somebody that's you're going against. You know what I mean? Always look at the person like equal to you. You know what I mean? And never ever say that the person not, because you know at the end of the day you don't know what they go through and you don't know what they're coming with. So those three big things. I think if you follow those, you'll be a world champion.
I truly want to thank you for your support of the Ukrainian people. At moments like this, words of solidarity from athletes like you mean more than you can imagine. Your voice carries influence, and when you stand with Ukraine, it sends a powerful message of unity and humanity. You're from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for standing with Ukrainians. We respect that deeply.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me out here, and I pray for my Ukrainian people to outcome this war and you know that stop the war and just be blessings in people's lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just the beginning. Amir Cashman Anderson. Remember the
Yes.
name.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you too. Goodbye.
Yes. Goodbye. Goodbye.